So, The Last of Us season 2 is officially a joke, and no amount of media cope is going to save it. Okay, so between the cringe pregnancy scene, the "I'm the dad now" nonsense, and the total erasure of Joel, well, The Last of Us season 2 has triggered a massive backlash that the studio did not see coming. I mean, if we've all heard of the game, we've seen it coming. We knew it was going to happen. And it's not just fans; it's everyone who liked season one, wondering what actually happened. Now, the meltdown is real. The reviews are brutal, and The Last of Us season two is getting destroyed from every direction. And the worst part, instead of just simply fixing it, they're doubling down with more cringe. Now, this is basically The Last of Us season two, and this is what happens when woke writing, especially from a woke video game, meets zero self awareness. Okay, so basically, they want you to believe this mess is progress. You see, that pregnant teenage fighter in the war zone is somehow empowering, and that's what The Last of Us season two is actually pushing. Narratives that's so divorced from logic that is actually insulting. Now, nothing screams strong female lead quite like putting your unborn child in danger to prove how fished you are. Now, this is not bravery at all. You see, it's basically a nightmare of 2016 Tumblr level writing. But don't worry, the Guardian says that it's romantic. And basically it's a love story that's built on cringe, bad pacing, as well as overwrought dialogue that's now considered the most romantic thing ever. I'll be honest, the Last of Us season two has become a full blown fiasco, and the average viewer is actually finally seeing it for what it really is. Okay, now I'm gonna be fair with y'all here. You see, gamers as well as a lot of other people who heard about this warned y'all about The Last of Us season two. See, years ago when The Last of Us part two dropped, we all saw this particular train wreck coming. We called it, we lived through it, and now a whole new wave of just like a lot of normies out there, just casual show watchers and stuff who enjoyed season one, are suddenly realizing what kind of agenda pushing disaster that they've stepped into for The Last of Us season two. You see, they're not being called every ist and phobe and bigot and stuff for simply not clapping like seals and stuff for every highlight of the season. It's like watching history repeat itself in real time. Now, the same meltdown, just with a different audience. And you know what? I mean, it's hilarious to be honest with you, because this time when it comes to The Last of Us season two, I mean, people aren't sitting down and shutting up. You see, they're actually speaking out, and it's blowing up in not only their faces, but HBO's face as well. And we might as well be honest for one thing. You see, Bella Ramsey is wildly miscast. You see, I mean, no disrespect, but she doesn't really work as Ellie, according to a lot of people who've already played the game and watched the show. Now, you know who should have played her? Well, according to a lot of people out there, it should have been Abby's actress. As a matter of fact, even Ellie's girlfriend would have been a better fit. And it's a classic case of agenda over accuracy. But in this show, that's par for the course. You see, it's not about good casting, it's about faithful storytelling, okay? And it's also about pushing cringe for clout. And this writing for this show, they say is hollow. The delivery is flat, and basically the chemistry is actually non-existent. Now, you want people to believe in this world to go ahead and just basically care about these particular characters and stuff, but instead, you give us a self-insert fantasy that feels like it was cooked up in a TikTok comment section. Basically, this is nothing new. I mean, this is how a lot of writers do and everything. They also want to pretend that the backlash is about Ellie being gay and stuff. Spoiler alert, it's not. She was also gay in the first game. We knew, and like a lot of people knew, they didn't care, and the story was actually about her and Joel, about trust, redemption, and survival. And then the story in the second game actually went to crap. Now that relationship between them mattered though, but that bond also carried the whole narrative. But now they just took Joel back with a golf club and stuff in this season, and basically people were supposed to get hyped for romance subplots and pregnancy drama. Apparently, I mean, you can't just nuke the heart of your franchise and expect fans to go ahead and smile and say thank you. I mean, that's not how any of this works. So the reviews on Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes are not review bombs, basically. They're actually honest reactions to garbage storytelling, okay? And these clowns at HBO call that hate. I mean, it's not hate, it's actually constructive feedback. The only thing exploding here is the delusion that this mess is high art, okay? Honestly, it's not, and it's an ideological landmine wrapped in mediocre acting and bad pacing. And the second you say that out loud, they brand you as a bigot in every Islamophobic in the book. Now, that's the cope they're trying to cling to because they can't admit that they took a beloved took a story and drove it straight off the cliff and stuff. But y'all remember the guy who played Ron Swanson over here in this picture right now, right? That episode from season 1. Well, a lot of people actually watched it and stuff and simply moved on. Now, nobody made a big deal about it because it was handled like a story, but not a lecture. You see, but now in The Last of Us season 2, I mean, everything just has to be some sort of political statement. Everything is a message. Same thing in a lot of IPs and stuff. You see, they're not telling stories anymore. They're actually preaching sermons for The Last of Us season 2. Now, the show is not being rejected because it features gay characters. It's being rejected because of the simple fact that, it's insufferably written and emotionally manipulative. You see, the only people who are pretending otherwise are simply the ones who are too deep in denial to go ahead and admit it, because that's no surprise because I be seeing that for like a number of people in the comment section of these videos. But by episode 4 of The Last of Us season 2, you can already feel the walls are closing in. This season only has 7 episodes, and the backlash is building up like a powder keg, basically. Now you can practically hear the panic behind the scenes and stuff. You see, they're going to stall the release of the final viewership numbers because guess what? They know what's coming. Okay, it's going to be basically a brutal embarrassment, the kind that studios usually try to bury, but fans won't let them. You see, because this is not 2016 anymore. Okay, people are done being gaslit into silence. And The Last of Us season 2 is actually paying the price for it. Okay, and that's no surprise at that because we've seen this, time and time again on other things. It's the same garbage recycled all over again. Now, reviewers cherry picking praise from blue check marks and calling everyone else hateful, but this is not about hate at all. It's about quality. It's about expectations. People tune into the show to see the story of Joel and Ellie, not a cringy lecture on gender dynamics and pregnant warriors. And the fact that Ellie's girlfriend is now calling herself dad just proves how far into clown world that we've gone, okay? But honestly, I mean, that's basically not representation at all. That's actually pandering and it reeks of desperation, okay? But honestly, you want to know why the show is getting slammed online by everybody? Well, simply put, it's because it's visually unappealing, incoherent, and packed with characters that look and act nothing like the ones that they're actually supposed to be. Okay, that's who they're supposed to be playing. And that's not nitpick right there. That's a fundamental failure of adaptation. You don't get to change everything and then complain about, when fans don't like it. You see, if they complain about it, fix it. The Last of Us season 2 isn't being, unfairly targeted. It's actually getting the response it earned. You see, when you strip away storytelling and shove identity politics down people's throats, guess what? This is exactly what happens. I mean, audiences bailed. Okay, and that's the simple point right there. And for the love of everything decent, just stop pretending that this backlash is new when in reality it's not. We went through this with the game and stuff. The only difference is that now it's a live action train wreck. Now the scene with Ellie's girlfriend being a dad, a quote unquote dad, that's a political statement right there. And when you insert that into your story, you're actually inviting pushback. I mean, that's not an attack at all. You see, that's reality right there. You simply can't politicize everything and then act shocked when half of your audience walks away. And guess what? You definitely can't even blame bigotry where the truth is your show just practically sucks, okay? Now they ruined Joel. That's what broke the fan base. Not Ellie being gay and everything, not the relationship drama. Joel was the heart of this thing. And The Last of Us season 2 murdered him in cold blood to score points and stuff on Twitter. And they wonder why people are actually really livid because they replaced compelling drama with virtue signaling. Okay. Now the real tension with woke checklists, and now it's blowing up in their faces and stuff, deservedly so. But the show had the potential to be great. You see, it had a built-in fan base, it had emotional stakes, but I mean, let's be honest, they couldn't resist turning it into a social commentary disguised as prestige television. And now, The Last of Us season 2 is getting destroyed, and all they can do is say this review bombing. It's viewer rejection, actually, because this is not entertainment anymore. You see, it's basically, no, definitely propaganda, only with better lighting, okay? And imagine if they actually did with Mario Bash with Mario with a bat, take out Luigi, make Peach and Daisy the leads, and then Peach gets pregnant by Toad, and we're told that's it's supposed to be powerful storytelling. I mean, that's what The Last of Us season 2 feels like. Basically, a parody so far removed from its source that it might just go ahead and it might as well be fan fiction at this point. Well, the only less charming, and people aren't buying it, and that's why the show is collapsing under its own weight, and a lot of people loving every second about it. Okay, so basically, The Last of Us season 2 has become a case study in how to alienate your core audience while pretending you're doing something brave, but it's not brave, it's lazy. It's the same smug, recycled playbook from the woke era of media. Shame the audience, rewrite the story, and call everyone who objects your stuff a bigot or every instant forbidden book. But this time, it's not working. You see, the people got tired of it, and this time the pushback is real, and the meltdowns might as well call them glorious and stuff. So yeah, just go ahead and keep doubling down. Keep presenting the problem is the fans, and keep churning out basically all of the insufferable scenes like I'm a dad now, and calling it progress. But just know this: The Last of Us season 2 gets destroyed not because of hate, but because how badly that the writers of the show and the creators of the show actually fumbled the ball. But the show exploded under its own nonsense, and guess what? Nobody is going to forget it anytime soon. So let me know your thoughts with this in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notification for future uploads, and I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, peace.